friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, and ideally, if each of you could pitch in $100 as well, that would be great. It might just get me over the hump to not only next week, but would also bridge the gap between my ability to get laid and the cost of a sex worker's attention for the night. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of This Hurt Less When I Had More Money. I'm your host, Joey Crypto, back once again in the Three Shots Podcast Studios. Wishing I had been here the last 2 months. And now that I'm here, wishing I had taken 3 shots up on all those offers of sexual favors if I would just grace them with my presence. We know it's been a good long while, and while time may heal all wounds, I'm sure these ones only continue to fester as you waited with thoroughly bated breath for the second coming of Joey Crypto. The first coming being the conception of my most recently crotched goblin, Georgiana. Yes, that's right, folks. I've been busy playing dad and trying not to abandon my child, my new favorite kid, in her time of great need for clean diapers and my surprisingly hairy chest to fall asleep on. I look like a guy that has a hairy chest, right? I'm halfway to spray tan on a speedboat with gold frame sunglasses already, aren't I? Let me tell you, folks, you haven't truly lived until you've played the guessing game of how much shit is there in this diaper, and will I need to just shower afterward? This tiny person is incredibly taxing on my sanity. At least my wife knows now what it's like to be sleep deprived. Dirty diapers and butt wipes aside, it does appear as if the financial institutions of the world are about to fight club us right back to the Stone Age of banking if we can't stop pulling every red cent of equity possible out of our belongings to spend on, drumroll please, more belongings. Maybe it's a generational thing. We were just doomed to repeat the mistakes of a generation of boomers hoping to capitalize on an exploding real estate market and then immediately complain about rising costs of housing. Newsflash, dipshit. If you don't want housing prices increasing, then stop cashing the fucking checks. In a coup de grace that would impress the universe on a planetary scale in a sort of, yeah, that's how orbits work, we knew you'd be back kind of way, we managed to pull off an even more exponentially fucked version of the 2008 financial crisis, and people are still trying to rationalize it. Well, that's how rich people do it. They just borrow against their assets. No, you fucking simpleton. That might be what rich people and corporations have done over and over again, but it's exactly what got us into this situation. Question for the classroom. What do you have when you borrow against your assets? Is it the same amount of money? More debt? A poorly functioning frontal cortex? Or D, all of the above? When you borrow money from yourself, you still have the same amount as before. But now you have a looming financial crisis. Hey, doc, it hurts when I do this. Oh, yeah? Well, don't fucking do that anymore. Fuck. I know history is doomed to repeat itself, but 14 years seems like too short for the cycle. How many Batman remakes is that? Holy shit, we've had like 8 different actors in 30 years, haven't we? I just pulled that number out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure I'm not actually that far off. Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Val Kilmer, Adam West, and for good measure, and also because he's dead and he deserves to be in the joke, Kevin Conroy as the best voice actor. Because fuck you, Will Arnett. It should have been Kevin Conroy. I'm sorry. Not fuck you, Will Arnett. You're cool, but a little bit fuck you. Anyways, we should have had like 5 more financial collapses by now. Anyway, where the fuck was I actually? Oh, that's right. Voyager Digital managed to weather this entire shitstorm though, right? No, fucking of course not. In fact, in a move that would make the Home Alone burglars look like fucking geniuses, Voyager Digital, VD for short, continues to pass each day like the bumbling group of idiots they proved to be by losing yet another $50 million in the USDC DPEG. And now for some one-liners using VD because fuck Voyager Digital and fuck venereal disease. Avoid contact with anyone with a case of VD. Some contact with VD can lead to symptoms like rash or irritability. The worst relationship I ever had ended when VD screwed me over. If you think VD has ruined your life permanently, you're probably right, but a medication can numb the pain when you're suffering an outbreak. Pretending your case with VD doesn't exist is dangerous and can harm others. I got VD once playing too fast and loose with too many people I met online. If you're afraid you might have a case of VD and you think you should be tested, it's probably too late. And watching other people get VD online would have been much cheaper, and while very sad, probably would have been equally satisfying, although the side effect would have been unhealthy expectations from future relationships. That was a porn reference. That was what that was referencing. Okay, anyway, I know it's been painful, but at least when it comes to VD's bankruptcy case, we managed to get in front of a judge that's totally competent when it comes to financial crimes in general, and more specifically crypto. That, and thank God for all the wonderful lawyers that haven't wasted our time, have been transparent and given regular updates, and haven't exercised their criminal amount of billable hours to suck away every penny possible from the ever-dwindling percentage I'll be able to recover from the gaping hatchet wound that used to be my account. And that's it. That's all you need to know about comedy. Just say a few things sarcastically that aren't true, sound convincing, and talk in threes. Which ironically is the same way Joanna Gaines decorates, who ironically would totally be my celebrity hall pass if my wife gave me one and if I needed a break from her, which I don't in the first place because she's too busy with her boyfriend. No, we don't have a competent judge. We don't have lawyers putting the victims of VD's negligence before their own pocketbooks. And no, I don't think it was weird for DJ Crypto to post his entire withdrawal history on Twitter. Sidebar here. Look, I'm sorry, DJ. I had to start a social media rivalry with somebody. Ben Armstrong is, although an incredibly huge douchebag, out of reach. Crypto Airborne is someone I consider a friend already at this point. And you're so outspoken. So roll for initiative, baby. The Dungeon Master has fated us to be at odds for inexplicable reasons. While my wife has already forgiven me for the way I absolutely nuked our life savings, I have a hard time forgiving the American government and believing that it was without fault when it comes to the depegging of yet another stablecoin. Yeah, I said it. You can call me another conspiracy theorist. That's fine. I mean, I'm not an anti-vaxxer or a flat earther, but like maybe on the post office is in on trafficking drugs into America level of conspiracy theory. Probably true to some extent, not for the reasons we imagine, and don't forget to keep talking in threes. Why do I think it's America's fault? Dude, look around. We're in charge of everything in the world, not just the good and bad stuff, but like literally everything could change based on our whims if we so desired. And we're also in charge of most of the money, like by a long shot. So we printed a shit ton of it, and we suck at managing it. The American government is as good at balancing its budget as creepy Uncle Reggie is at balancing how many drinks he can legally have against how badly he wants to avoid jail time. In neither case is it a problem for most of us. And in both cases, addiction seems to be a root cause. Okay, sweet hell. How do we wrap this all up into one disgusting, palatable hot pocket that even Elon Musk would have to admit it was worth keeping on the payroll? The fact is, you really can't. As a good friend recently asked me, hypothetically, of course, would you rather sit on a cake and eat a dick or sit on a dick and eat a cake? Assuming, of course, that you're not really into butt stuff. It's a hard question for me to answer. I don't like cake all that much. Sometimes you just have to make a sacrifice in the name of fighting the good fight, cup the balls, and hope the recovery is closer to 70% than 50%. But don't get jaded, though. There's hope. There's always hope. It just might come in the shape of an oblong, cylindrical, lubricated, and hard-to-swallow object. Okay? Honestly, though, I went through a terrible time in my life that broke me financially and spiritually. I lost a ludicrous amount. And I lost a ludicrous amount again in the VD debacle. And I'll rebuild again because the alternative is just too sad and I won't give up. I'm human too. And I know exactly the incredible pain some of you are going through. So join me in a big warm Joey Crypto send-off and tell VD you forgive them. And we'll be happy to give them a big old hug with a hammer one toe at a time. Folks, I'm Joey Crypto, and my wife just got done making dinner, so I'm going to go see if her boyfriend saved me any leftovers. Thanks again, folks. Joey Crypto out from the Three Shots Podcast studio. Woo!